Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I am going to show you how I painted something very similar to this. So I have been doing a lot of lives on my TikTok recently, and I typically do them on like half an hour before heading out to work, or on Saturdays, a very longer live on TikTok. And this was this one for this Saturday where we painted this one, and this one. And so if you guys want to follow me on TikTok, the link is in the description below. And also I do lives on my Patreon, but those are a little bit more structured, kind of like my YouTube videos in a way, with like very specific step-by-step processes. Live TikToks are a little bit more of like a little live session doodle kind of thing. But I have been recently kind of obsessed with putting backgrounds to my floral paintings, obviously like this one. And I just think this looks really gorgeous, and I wanted to show you how I painted this with watercolors. So let's just go over the materials and get started. Okay, again, this is what I painted before. So we're going to do a peach background, but that will be the last step. First, I'm going to go ahead and paint all my beautiful yellow flowers with their leaves, and then I am going to fill in the background with a beautiful peach color. So again, this is what I painted for my TikTok. Again, this is more of the things that I painted on my TikTok. So we are going to use Arch's watercolor paper as per the usual. You all know that I grab a complete sheet, then I cut it in half, and then I cut it again in half. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that really quickly. Beautiful. So now I have my little sheet of paper. Now, as for paint, I am primarily going to use cadmium yellow, cadmium red orange, opera pink. For my leaves, I am going to use a mixture of the indigo and the cadmium yellow. Of course, I have my clean water, and as for brushes, I am going to use a round brush and a filbert brush. So let's just go ahead and get started with the flowers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just grab a little bit of this cadmium yellow and create the main shapes of my flower. So I'm going to go ahead and beautiful. So I figure I give you guys a little bit of a closer look. I'm just basically doing a bouquet of flowers. Now I am going to grab a tiny little bit of my pink color to add just a little bit of contrast on the inside of my flowers. I really like a detail like this, where I can like give my flowers a little bit of contrast. They look beautiful. A little bit of pink, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. So that's kind of what I'm doing. This one looks a little bit too drastic, so I'm gonna blend it in a little bit more. There you go. Beautiful. All right, now the last step of my bouquet is to add the leaves. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just add a few leaves on the stems here and there. I'm going to completely clean my brush, and a mixture of a little bit of pink with a tiny little bit of cadmium red orange gives me a beautiful, and a tiny little bit of yellow gives me a beautiful peach color. So I am using a ton of water. So it's just a lot of water to create that beautiful pastel color. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start outlining. Beautiful. Just outlining my flowers. So this is a very relaxing part of this painting, where you just like kind of get lost in the detail of filling in all these little spaces. Takes a little bit of patience, maybe a little bit of practice to hone in like really that like fine motor skill, I want to say, like the muscle memory of just, and the eye coordination, to just follow those lines and leave a tiny little gap in between, and it's going to look gorgeous. All right, beautiful. So what I'm going to do before I fill in these little spaces in between and I get lost in those details, I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of detail to my flowers. So same brush, but I am using just pure indigo, and I am going to go ahead and add my little centers for the like the pistils for the flowers that I have centers for, basically here, and this one. Now, while I have my brush loaded, I am going to mix in a little bit more of this like a green, a very dark green, and I am going to add the details to my leaves. So I think this is beautiful. I think I like this. So I'm going to completely clean my brush, and I'm going to finish putting the peach little background on my background. So in the in-between layer of my stems. So again, a little bit of orange, a little bit of cadmium. Alright, well, this is it. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial on flowers using watercolor with this beautiful technique of filling in the background with a contrasting or just a beautiful color. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, if you have suggestions for future tutorials, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Alright, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.